Singwe and welcome back to my channel. Today I decided that I wanted to talk about how we can deal with feelings of anxiety and depression during this lockdown. We've been on lockdown now for, I don't know actually how long it's been, but it's been a long time. And I know that some of us are experiencing anxiety and a little bit depressed because we don't know what is happening with our country and what will happen with our country and our jobs and our careers, etc. So that's why I decided I thought it would be actually a good idea to talk about this. First of all, I'm not wearing my glasses today. I feel a bit out there and naked and vulnerable. So dramatic. I decided to actually not wear my glasses because we are using a light and the light is giving such a bad reflection on my glasses, so it becomes annoying to watch. So I just decided, let me just go naked today. So without wasting any time, let's get into it. Before I sort of talk about how we can deal with the depression and anxiety, I decided maybe let me just share a little bit about where my depression and anxiety comes from during this time. So in 2017, I started doing my master's degree in counseling psychology, and I submitted my thesis at the beginning of this year. I think it was end of February when I did. And so after I did that, my university went into a strike about 2 weeks, and then after the strike was over, it was back to normal. And then after, I think it was a week or two later, we were on lockdown. So now I was left with this left in this limbo because I don't know when my thesis will be marked. I don't know when I'll be getting the results to be told I've passed or I need to do corrections, and I don't know when I'll be writing my board exam to become a qualified counseling psychologist. And so I just felt like there's just unnecessary delay in terms of my career as well as my school life, because I really wanted to finish this year and graduate and actually start working. And so when this lockdown happened, it just set me back so many steps in terms of progress. So I felt so uncertain about my future specifically, and then introducing the factor that our economy is going to be negatively affected by the lockdown also introduced other feelings of being anxious, like what will my future look like? What will our future look like? And with the possibility that people are going to be losing their jobs, there's going to be factories or places that are going to close down because of this lockdown. And now I was in the process of applying for jobs. So it just left me feeling so depressed. And so it was difficult, especially in the first week or so, because I was just thinking about this whole thing and thinking, so what if I don't work this year? What if I don't graduate this year? What if my thesis never gets marked? What if they lose it? Because that happens, and I have to resubmit again. Like, what will happen? There was just a lot of what if. But when I actually sat and reflected and talked to myself and was honest with myself that yes, I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what the state of our country will be after the lockdown. I don't know anything, but I do know who holds my future, and that gave me comfort. And I would not have known that had I not actually been intentional about spending time with God during the time and just like bringing my heart to Him and sharing my anxiety with Him. So that time actually gave me sense of new perspective, and it calmed me down and actually made me feel there's hope. I trust God with my life, I trust God with our country, I trust God with everything. So He's got us, and that gave me peace. And so that's why I thought, as part of ways that I might say or suggest for you guys to sort of help in dealing with your feelings of anxiety, spending time with God was number one, because I think it is one of the biggest way one can take care of their mental health. And then number two, I thought that exercise, because I've been exercising as well, and I've seen the improvement it has given. I mean, the improvement it has made in my mood. And so also during when I was going through that whole I call it a fog, like an emotional fog, I decided, I said, what can you do to sort of distract yourself? And so I started reading, and I started journaling, and I started, as I mentioned, that I started spending time with God, and I started keeping busy. And what that look, I'm usually a busy person. Sorry, that's my watch. I'm usually a very busy person. So this one, it meant that I was organizing the house, I was cleaning, I was cooking, and I was baking. And I told myself that, okay, so after this lockdown, I should have goals. What is it that I want to achieve within these 3 weeks? That was before the lockdown was extended. So I was like, okay, I say you need to get a little bit more fit and fit, not fit, get fit and learn a new skill and start a YouTube channel. And I've done all three according to me. And so those were ways in which I was helping in terms of taking care of my mental health in practical ways. And so I'm going to share with you some ideas what I think you guys could do as well. So as I mentioned, quality time with God, quiet time with God, just praying and meditating on His Word. And then secondly, journaling. What I found with journaling is that it is a safe space for me to vent, because I know nobody reads my journal. So I can be as honest as I can and just offload it out. So it's a safe space for me. And it is also a way where I've realized that it keeps track of the progress I'm making emotionally, physically, spiritually, and I'm able to go back and see where I've come from, see the changes I've made, see the progress I have made, and that it's in itself is an encouragement for me. And it just also highlights the presence of God in my life and His faithfulness. So it has been an amazing way of keeping me sane. And then the third one, I don't know if I meant exercise. Exercise, because we know during exercise our brains releases a chemical that helps improve our mood, and it also helps. Exercise also helps with our sleep, because I know that a lot of people during this lockdown, their sleeping patterns have been negatively affected. So exercise will actually help in helping you sleep better at night, and so it will also help you clear your head. And yeah, it makes you feel like you're doing something. So it encourages you to continue, especially when you start seeing the results. And yesterday, if I'm just going off track here, I was actually so proud of the progress my body is making, because now there's a little bit of muscle definition, which is so cool. So cool. Anyway, another way that I thought could be a good way of taking care of our mental health is minimizing the amount of news and social media we consume. So the content that we consume should be encouraging. It shouldn't frustrate us. It shouldn't make us sad. It shouldn't make us hopeless. But we should be consuming content that will encourage us, that will even funny content, stuff that are funny, easygoing, light-hearted, so that we are not consistently in this emotional fog of what is happening with the world, what is this lockdown going to do, and blah 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 blah. Just consuming content like this content that I'm giving you guys, it will actually help in making us feel better. And then the other thing I was thinking is positive affirmations, affirming yourself, affirming who you are, affirming your identity, and affirming that fact that you will have a future. You do have a future regardless of what is happening in the world. And then lastly, I thought, how about you challenge yourself? Challenge yourself for maybe, let's say, 7 days. You do what? Redo your vision board, because we know maybe some of the stuff that you had written down has now been delayed or affected by the fact that we are going to be on lockdown for 35 days. And maybe challenge yourself to run around the house for 5 kilometers, or I don't know, like just have a challenge that you do and you are consistent in. I am currently doing the no sugar challenge, the 90 days without sugar. So this coffee I'm drinking here does not have sugar. I wasn't putting a lot of sugar in any case, but I feel it. I do feel it. So with that said, I was also thinking that you could start a new hobby. I picked up again on reading, and that has been helpful. And then the last thing I've been doing is learning a new skill. I wanted to learn how to bake two-tier cake, and how to make icing and make it proper. And I've baked my first cake, and I was so proud of myself. And so now I'm wanting to bake a vanilla cake for Luaho's birthday, and I want it to be number one, like cake itself should be a one. I'm challenging myself to do that. So I hope you can find ways to challenge yourself. You can find a space for you to read and reflect, and just write down some of the things that you think are triggering you, so that you know, if you know what is triggering you, you will know how to find ways to deal with that. And I hope that you'll be able to find space to do what you feel like you need to do in order to take care of your mental health, because I know our needs are not the same. So what I have here might not actually work for you, but I hope that it will sort of like steer you to the right direction in terms of finding what is suitable for you. And so I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to subscribe and like and leave a comment. Share with me what you've been doing during this time to sort of stay sane and taking care of your mental